Jared!
Ram!
This is amazing. This is a great building.
Yeah, it's nice, huh?
How long have you lived here?
About a year.
It's nice.
Plus?
Nice.
Yeah.
Should I close the door behind me?
Yeah, no worries. I got it.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'll take off my shoes.
If you don't mind.
Why would I mind?
Oh.
Okay, you see? It's fine. Everything's good. This is for you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers.
It's hot.
Good.
Okay, awesome.
Good.
I just need to set up.
Sure.
Okay. Wait, but there's good.
Here's okay?
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. So, in this photograph, we have a chain link fence. On it are there's a lock. There's one. I can only see one. Well, there are many padlocks.
It's two locks that are
Okay.
important to the photo.
Okay. And there are two hands. One is your hand. I can tell because of the tattoos. One is a female hand. I would assume. What is the significance of that ring?
That's the engagement ring.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. It's an interesting engagement ring. What is the? Is this?
It's a diamond slice, so it's like a raw piece of the ore.
Oh.
And so Karis and I are recently engaged. As of
Mazal Tov.
Yeah.
Cool.
As of Monday.
Oh.
So this is really where my head is at.
Very
this
recent.
is like the most recent of the photos, and both of our rings. Like I also took a ring.
Okay.
Technically it's my wedding band, but I decided to wear it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're both from this company called Gardens of the Sun, based in Bali.
Oh, okay.
And it's this like women-owned, run company that Karis found actually about like last year, really. And they make all sorts of jewelry in this sort of style, where they take like raw pieces of sapphire, rubies, like all the gemstones.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to create an engagement ring that was different.
Mm-hmm.
Because of a lot of different reasons, like just everything about Karis and I is like quite unconventional,
right?
And our relationship is wild and different and like lovely in that sense.
Yeah.
So her ring, the centerpiece, is this diamond stone that it's like iridescent and has a lot of texture to it, sort of inside. Yeah.
Okay.
The significance of the locks and everything is like the yellow one faded out, says our names on it, and the date is on the side where Karis had put the lock on, which was after that January trip that I came here. Okay. So that was in February.
So this is in Hong Kong?
This is on Changchao.
Okay.
Yeah, Changchao is like our favorite island.
Right.
And it's just like, sort of like Ham Tin. It's like, in Hong Kong, it's our version of like peace and paradise and like escapism.
Right.
So I knew that I wanted to like be engaged many years ago. But when I knew that it was time, it's been a whole saga getting the rings with the company because I ordered them in January.
Right.
And they've taken until now to show up. So they actually came this Monday morning.
Oh, exciting.
And I was like, all the pieces are here. Like, we're going to do it. Let's do it now.
Okay.
So my decoy sort of excursion was like, we got to go to Changchao. We got to see the love lock that you put for us because I want to put one for Chester.
Ah, sweet.
So the red one, you can see
much newer.
Yeah, much newer. We wrote it that day, and it's Chester's name.
Yeah.
And so sort of in a cheesy expression of love.
It's sweet. It's just sweet.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's just like, he's my first pet ever that like has 4 legs.
Wow.
So he's really important to me, and like, I wanted to do that, but also in this way of like, I love talking about love, and I love talking about us and like what makes us so special, and being on Changchao and like all the pieces, like we left sort of the gated area where this is, and and I proposed.
Oh, okay.
So it was a really, really special moment.
Wow,
like,
nice.
Yeah, that is.
As a type, I tend to kind of like I go towards things. You know what I mean? Like if there's danger, I'll go towards it. If there's risk, I'll go towards it. If there's sweetness, I'll dive into it. I mean, look, this podcast is about going towards these ideas and things with the person, right? So as you're sharing the story, the background, for an external person, it's like it's a different feeling because, you know, if you're telling me about an adventure, like for example hiking up Lion Rock, I connected to the Lion Rock side, whatever, and so it's exciting and all that stuff.
Sure.
And then but then when you start talking about this photograph, which for you is really steeped in emotion and meaning and significance, I think in the recording you can hear it in your voice. I can see it in your face. I can hear it in the breaths that you take and how you're communicating and all this stuff. So my interest at this point is to go kind of to go, okay, let's talk more about that. Like what you proposed, she said yes, you've shared the rings, and this was so recent. What's connected to that in terms of the meaning, in terms of your lives? Like, obviously, you're great companions.
Yeah.
You're really connected intellectually and emotionally and stuff. But what do we expand outside of that for somebody to not necessarily learn from, but to kind of...
Well, our story, like I was saying, it was so unconventional. And like most of that is sort of a greater story for maybe another time. But like it's this sense of like, you know, everybody that we've met who've sort of had the opportunity to like talk with and like not explain our love, but like when you really get into it, I think it's like really eye-opening for a lot of people. This is going to be Karis's second marriage. Right. It will be my first marriage, but it's my relationship with Karis is really special because I mean, before I met Karis, I was dating guys exclusively. And that was sort of how I saw myself growing up. I did like the coming out and like this sort of expansion of myself in that moment. I was 17, you know, that was 10 years ago now. And then I met Karis and everything turned on its head, you know, like, and it was just this moment of like, holy shit.
Wow,
like,
that's interesting.
You're awesome.
Okay.
And we became friends and coworkers, but like we became friends and like our story sort of started from this place of like just being there, like supporting each other. And like what is like so significant about our unconventionality is like the fact that like love exists in this way that is unique to everybody, but is also like so malleable. Like it's so, there is no right way to love.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And like what I'm so proud of is like the fact that we have both been open to letting our love like grow. And like letting our love become what it is now. Which is like all of this. You know what I mean? It's art, it's music, it's like Chester, it's everything. And I just like couldn't be happier. You know?
No, I got that.
And yeah,
the notion of convention, normality, if we're born with a finite amount of time, and we don't know when that time ends, and within that time our identity emerges, right? Our needs, our wants, our desires, our dreams, all that stuff emerges, and we follow paths that feel right, are you know, make sense to us, and we connect with people along that ride. The conventional idea of normalcy is this, it's, you know, it's this idea that we just sort of impose and say, oh, this is what normal should look like. And then you realize, wait a second, there's so many exceptions to the rule that maybe it's not even worth, attaching yourself to this idea of what normal looks like. So we have an unconventional relationship. Well, isn't every relationship kind of unconventional?
Yeah. Yeah. And in that sense, like, our relationship isn't so weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think our relationship is weird,
mm-hmm.
or abnormal.
Yeah.
I just think that there's so much beauty behind it.
I'm with you. 100%. I think part of what connects me to what you're saying is that I'm in the room, and there's that. What's great with the audio is that people are going to imagine what you look like or whatever, then look on the photographs, but if there's a bravery or if there's a kind of, I think inviting me to tell your story to frame and tell and share your story, I think is I don't want to use the word brave because it's kind of overused, but I think what it is it's kind of like open, and commendable and great. Yeah. So fuck conventional. Okay. Yeah,
because I mean, like, we've known each other for a long time, and
those crazy kids in the other room. What's he doing?
No, he's
trashing the place. That guy talks too much,
throwing stuff around. Yeah, he's really liked this one piece of plastic that we have over there lately, like more so now than he's big enough to finally pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
busting a binky.
Totally. Totally. He's just making a squish spot for him.
Nice.
He really likes to be, like, small.
Cozy. Yeah.
We've known each other for a long time, Karis and I, and we've really, our love has grown slowly.
Okay.
And, like, over all of that time. And in a way where it's sort of allowed us to, like, breathe the whole time.
Right.
And to feel confident in what it is.
Okay.
Because it was a lot of, for me, when we started dating, it was a lot of change in a way that didn't feel different for me, like didn't feel like a change for me.
Right.
But all of the noise outside of me was like, holy shit, what are you doing? This is so crazy and different. Oh my God, you're like with a woman, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm with Karis. Like, I'm with the person, you know, and for her with her divorce and bigger life change, like in that way, like also a lot of noise and a lot of, she kind of had a lot of similar noise in that sense of like, wait, you're dating that guy, like
but it's all like it's funny because it's all external.
So
you guys know what your connection is, what your conversations are, the quality of that is. When I met Delian, I was working at the Human Rights Commission in Ontario. And the Human Rights Commission is a really interesting place in that whenever there's any kind of controversy in a social sense, it's always, that's where it lands. Like if it breaks the law, the police get involved. But if it breaks a convention or more sufficiently far outside enough to make people seriously uncomfortable and angry and emotional, then it lands in the Human Rights Commission. So that, for a couple of years, that was the essence of what I was focusing in and doing and stuff. And so we'd see these we were surrounded by these kinds of conversations, right?
Yeah.
And I could see how for somebody who's trying to make sense of the world by fitting it into the right sort of shape and box, seeing something outside of that it reveals their own discomfort and prejudice and whatever it is, like I don't call it narrow-mindedness, but lack of breadth.
Yeah. Well, and that's been my reflection on all of the moments that I had, like, as a kid, because at the tender age of 16 and a half, feeling so different and feeling like my interests really dictated my way of life.
Okay.
And again, like the outside noise of these people who really loved me and cared for me saying like, oh, if this is what you like maybe, you know, like, I think blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't come out or go through that process as like a societal pressure, but in a way, it was a really popular thing at the time. And I really thought that my interests dictated my way of life. Right. And it took a lot of bravery, I think, a few years later, 20, 21, 22, moving into the city to say that, like, actually, to question myself. Right. And to say, am I putting myself in a box? Okay. By being the big air quotes, truest version of myself? Like, by limiting the love that I can feel by sticking to what I said when I was 17. Right. Am I putting myself in a box? Like, am I open to other forms of love and expression? And it just sort of turned out like, amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it really allowed me to open myself up to Karis and that idea of like, listen, just because I'm in a heteronormative relationship, like, doesn't make me a straight person. Sure. And, like, doesn't make Karis a straight person either. Like, we're not on the other side of the fence necessarily. Just because, you know, we're not in the other box. Like, just because we're not in this box. Right. No, I got it. And, like, that has been also really liberating. To, like, just be. Right. And to say, like, my interests as a whole don't dictate like who I am. It's like, this is just, wow. Yeah. No, I had no idea this is where we're going to end up. God, I love this kind of stuff. This is crazy. Like, this is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. No problem. Okay. So the older you get, the more maturity you get. And in a way, like, for me, I feel I became me when I hit 27. Okay. That's really when I feel like I am me. That's really when I really kind of became my whole self. Okay? Yeah. If you could talk to your 17-year-old self or just talk to somebody else who is wrestling with this idea of where do I fit and how do I express who I am? Like, what would you tell that person? Chill the fuck out. No, what would you say? Chill the fuck out. Like, take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Like, stop, like, not stop, but like try your hardest not to define yourself in every moment. Okay. Because just because you want, I don't know, just because you scored the best goal in that game as a kid doesn't mean that you have to sort of fulfill the progression of then becoming a major league soccer player. Right. Just because, you know, I would say, like, take your time. Okay. Take your time, because it does a wonder to, like, just be able to stay malleable. Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I don't think that, like, what I went through in this, like, second coming out, because everybody comes out time and time again. Yeah. All sorts of things. Always renewing yourself. What I mean? Yeah. Always renewing yourself. But, like, yeah, it's so hard to say, because, like, I know who I was as a kid, and I got the same advice. Okay. That I'm now giving my or any younger person. Right, like, I'm giving that same advice like my parents told me. It was like, just relax. Oh, like, just, your parents sound awesome. Allow you. They are. Mm. Yeah, thanks. Like, and it's funny now because I feel, you know, I'm different than my parents, but, like, I feel so similar. Right. And it's like, just be open-minded. Okay. Just be open-minded, because somehow, in a funny way, coming out, telling the whole world that I'm gay as the day is bright, became closed-minded. Right. Okay. And I think that that's something in a greater sense that, like, the community does deal with and, like, does struggle with sometimes. Right. But, like, yeah, just Just relax.
Jared, I love it. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.